this time I've been talking and you ain't heard a word I done said because I was going off on folks, and I know. But I ain't even started reading yet. So maybe all of that was not supposed to be heard. I don't know if somebody can read some lips and stuff, but it wasn't really all that bad. I don't think. But I apologize and stuff, y'all, because I sure didn't know that I was on mute the whole time. And something told me that, yeah, don't even go on tonight, because I was in a phone call, and it was real good, informational. It was a lesson. And I was like, nah, I finished it up, and I was like, I need to go ahead and go live and stuff and finish this book. And it wasn't meant to be. Yep. I sure hate I wasted y'all time. I bet I look crazy as hell over here, didn't I? I'm just going off and stuff, honey. Yes. I sure hate I waste y'all time. But let's finish this book right here, because maybe I need a break. I don't know. Maybe I need a couple days break and stuff, which I do be taking break and getting rest. You know? I do be taking breaks and getting rest and stuff. My sleeping is off because I'm not used to this, this schedule right here. But other than that, yeah. But it do say when you feel like you doing too much, yeah, just fall back a little bit, regroup yourself, rejuvenate, and then come back even harder. I don't. Oh, my ancestors. Well, thank y'all for being there anyway. Ouch. So you stayed there? Check your sound, Auntie. I know. And see, I usually have this on, but I had maximized it and stuff when I got to reading and got to talking and stuff, so I didn't even see that it was red. And then I had my glasses on anyway. But it was something I was finna say to y'all. Yeah, let me write down everybody's name right fast, because that is impressive. Sure will, son. I know, right? I think we need something. I probably need something. So if this happens and I see all of those little the little whatever it's gonna be, the little signals, then I know I ain't got no sound. I don't know. Maybe I do need a moderator, I guess. I don't know. I have to figure this out, ain't it? Hey, Layla, it's so good to see you. I know. Oh, wow. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'm going to do something like that. And I so apologize. Let's finish this book, because, yeah, we tired of her ass. Yep, the white woman, we tired of her. We know what she's about, what she's done. She is no longer protected and, hidden from her role in our trauma. Because we traumatized. We still traumatized, Black America. 10,000 Black people ran out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, traumatized. And that's what I've been talking about, white folks, and what they done did to us and stuff, as always. The reason why I'm here. And then the battery finna go off too. And the garden is growing beautiful. I'm gonna move it back outside tomorrow, because we had a tornado threat today where the siren went off. But yeah, so I'm gonna move it back outside, because honey, I'd have been upset if I came home and all of my garden had blown away. Oh, my ancestors. I don't know what I would have did. I probably would have shed a few tears. Yeah. But we got everything growing. The collard started sprouting. Yeah. So we got squash, we got zucchini, okra, garlic. Yeah, we got some corn over there, even though it's a hybrid. Somebody will want a corn on the cob. Yeah. Let me finish this right here before the laptop even, before it died on us and stuff. This is property. And, like I was saying and stuff, it's just a smaller version. This right here is about one family, one master and the missus, and his love affair with the slave women and stuff. And he was in love with Sarah, had a couple of babies by Sarah. The missus could not have kids and stuff. She loved her husband at first, but after she couldn't have kids and she didn't want to have sex with him no more, he was a straight animal. That's just the way she put it in the book and stuff. But he was sleeping with the Black women, the slaves and stuff. And her daddy was also, she just found out, her daddy was in love with the Negroes. Black women and stuff. He wouldn't have no more kids, because I guess he didn't want to have no more kids and have a black child with one of the slave women. I don't know. These folks are just crazy. Motherfucking insane and stuff. So anyway, she hate her husband. Sarah hate both of them. That's the slave name. Her slave is Sarah. Belongs to her. He ain't got nothing to do with stuff, but he going down there in the quarters and stuff, and he raping them. She can't have kids, but Sarah done had two. A little boy named Walter. He's deep, and she got an infant baby. When Sarah done escaped, the husband, the master, done been killed. He done been beheaded. The missus, her name is Manning Gaudet. She done covered herself in mud. She got back to her plantation and stuff, so she with the rest of the slaves. Now she's looking for Sarah, trying to find Sarah. The man that Sarah was in love with before she came to them, he done found her. He helped her plan the escape. He done came and asked Manning, can he buy Sarah? She don't want to do it and stuff. But I think that's his baby. The new baby that Sarah got away with might be his baby. I don't know. It might be the master's baby too. So, and then Manning, when she was younger, there was this guy named Joel who was like her, but she ended up marrying the master, whatever his name was. And so now he done popped back up in the picture and stuff. It's just a whole mess and stuff. But her main thing is finding Sarah. And Sarah done left a little deaf boy with her. Don't nobody want him. The master dead. So he kind of like her responsibility, you know, even though she was left with everything. But the master lost everything because he wasn't nothing but a bond. But her mama, when she died, she left her some investments and some land and property. So she planned on going there. When she was escaping, when Sarah was escaping, Manning tried to escape too, but Sarah fought her motherfucking ass. Found out she had a recollection. And Sarah bit her. Yeah, Sarah bit Manning and got on the horse with her baby. She tied her baby on her back. Got on that horse, honey, and they were gone. And so the other night we were reading, and Manning had a recollection that in that moment and stuff, when they were running for the horse, they were fighting. Her and Sarah were fighting for the horse. And the horse, Sarah won the horse. And Sarah was on the horse riding away with the baby. She remembered her husband called out, Sarah. He was in love with Sarah. Yeah, it's a whole, yeah. I don't know. It ain't no affection type of thing. It's really sordid. A cannibalistic, I don't know. I don't know what you were calling this stuff, what they got going on here, white folks. But I know I don't think it's been healed. All of this, it can't be. It cannot have been healed, in my opinion. But let's read and stuff. So that's just an update on this book right here. I hope I didn't leave nothing out because we're almost done with it. And yeah, after all that time, what I was reading for like, oh, wow, over an hour. For real. Yeah. Okay. It turned cold that night. I was so tired, I slept well in spite of it. Let me see, where was it before we got to here? Oh, I do want to back up a little bit and let y'all know what about her daddy. Because she was thinking about her dad and stuff. She had found some journals of her dad's, and all he was talking about was the weather, the crops, and disease in the Negroes, how the Negroes were dying. His words and stuff. And she was wondering, what is he talking about and stuff? Now she realized he was in love with the black people and stuff. And he really didn't love her. So she said, he was an imposter, talking about her daddy. He kissed me goodnight the night he died, just as he had 1,000 times before. Nothing set it apart from any other night when I might find him in the morning, nodding at mother over the coffee urn. He knew I would never see him again, yet he didn't bother to leave me with so much as an extra word of encouragement, a lingering in the kiss, an extended moment of tenderness, anything that I might have clung to as evidence that he regretted abandoning me. That I figured in his life more importantly than his hoe or a sick field hand, which, after all, received a mention in his journal. Because remember, in his journals, all he was talking about was sick Negroes, the crops, and yeah, that was all he was talking about. He didn't mention nothing about his wife, his daughter, his love for family, nothing like that. So she kind of see that, yeah, he was in love with black people and stuff. That's what he kept talking about, his failing. He failed because she was like, how could my mother never forgive a man who doted on her? Yeah, he doted on her as a husband, but he wasn't in love with her. He was in love with black women. Probably was sleeping with them all night, every night, as long as he couldn't have babies by him. I'm just saying, in my mind, it didn't say it, maybe it will. My aunt was right. He was obsessed with Negroes. He was obsessed by the Negroes. He wanted them to admire him, to adore him, and my mother was right as well. They had killed him. He killed himself. I think he committed suicide. I could see myself so passionate, so terrified, weeping like a fool, and calling out to him in the cold wind on the dock. And then I turned to find those boys. Did I really see them? Who appeared from nowhere to tell me that no one in my world ever would. The plain, unvarnished truth. Your pappy started that fire himself. He shot himself. It was the truth. They had no reason to make up such a story. They were just children, repeating what they had heard. Mother knew it, and it destroyed what was left of her life. I reached out and laid the portrait face down on the table. Hypocrite, I said. My head was bursting. I felt as if an iron collar, such as I have used to discipline field women, ain't that some shit, were fastened about my skull. I remembered watching my husband through the spyglass as he stalked across the lawn with one of these devices dangling from his hand. He was in a fury because he caught a new girl in bed with the overseer. He passed Sarah, who was feeding chickens in the yard, and spoke to her. I couldn't hear what he said, but judging by the scowl she gave him, it was something insulting. What was it? You're next. I heard his voice clearly as I sat there in the darkened room, clutching my head. He's dead, I told myself. He's not coming back. But it was as if he was there, leaning over me, turning the screw of the hot iron collar tighter and tighter until my skull must crack from the pressure. Now, when Sarah was escaping, she felt like her husband saved her life. So she do owe him some gratitude, even though she hated him. And I guess that do give her a reason to feel like she can be the grieving widow, even though she really hated him for being with black women. She didn't want to sleep with him no more. And she couldn't have kids. She went to the doctor and got a prescription, got the doctor to write a note that said she can't have no baby. She ain't of no use no more, and told him, don't worry about me. Don't come get nothing from me. And that's how it was. So she grew a hatred for him. He was raping the slave women. Sarah hated both of them. She kept Sarah with her because he was in love with Sarah. So that's where we at. It turned cold that night. I was so tired I slept well in spite of it. Back in her plantation. She was back at the plantation now. In the morning, while I huddled over my coffee, Rose and Delphine went about closing the windows and pillowing and piling coal into the grates. My headache was gone. I felt better than I had in weeks. Let me just live quietly without illusions, I thought. When the fire was lit, I took my cup into the parlor and sat at the desk. I could hear the women struggling with the window in Mother's bedroom. It had stuck for as long as I can remember. My thoughts wandered and my eyes traveled over the familiar furnishings until they settled upon a sight I would never become accustomed to. Walter was leaning in the doorway, rubbing his eyes with his knuckles. She hated them kids that Sarah had. What are you doing here? I said. She was curt with him, as if it had as if he had it in him to give me an answer, but he was deaf, he couldn't hear. He dropped his hands, ran across the floor, and threw himself down on the fireplace tiles, letting out a groan of pleasure at the warmth. Before I could call Rose, he turned upon his side and fell asleep. He's like a cat, I thought, always seeking comfort or making trouble, immune to all commands. Someone had watched him recently and cut his hair in short ringlets. In the firelight, it glowed like hot copper wire. His lips were moist and red. I seldom looked at him, but I was in such an idle frame of mind that I noticed his face had grown longer in the last months. Though he had his father's light eyes, he had begun to favor his mother. Where was she? Philadelphia, New York, great cold cities full of foreigners. How much longer would it take for Mr. Leggett to find her? And at what cost? Rose came in looking from Walter to me and back again. I thought he was in the kitchen, she said. He snuck out while we was closing up. He always want to be where you are. This was true, I thought. He was fascinated by me. Leave him, I said. Tell Delphine to fix me a big breakfast. All I ate yesterday was a morsel of bread and a plum. So now she finna treat Walter like a cat. Winter settled upon us. The cold seeped around the windows, rose up through the floorboards. Even the carpets were cold beneath my thin slippers, but her ass didn't have to get on it. She could stay in bed all day. I spent the mornings in the parlor, wrapped in shawls, the afternoons at my aunt's where the fireplace was large enough to accommodate small logs, and the nights shivering beneath a pile of blankets. Walter turned the morning nap by the fire into a ritual. To the amazement of Rose and Delphine, I allowed it. He was there, sound asleep, when my aunt arrived with the news that Sarah had been apprehended at last. A gentleman named Foster came to us last night, she said, breathlessly pulling off her gloves. He said he had promised Mr. Leggett to relay certain information to us as he would arrive before the mails. Good heavens, is that Walter? I let him sleep there once, I said, and now he wants to do it every day. Rose says he always wants to be where I am. My aunt contemplated the boy, who lay curled on his side, his head resting on his arm. What harm can it do, she said. He has certainly grown. He looks like his mother, I said. Where is she? She is in jail in Savannah. But I thought she was in New York. She was, but Mr. Leggett brought her to Savannah. That is where he met Mr. Foster and gave him a full account of his travels over dinner at the inn where they both passed the night. It is an amazing story, capturing her. My aunt threw off her cloak and composed herself on the seat. Come and sit with me and I'll tell you all I know. Really, I think Mr. Leggett has done himself proud. She kept paying all her money to find Sarah. And then she had a love thing for Sarah herself. She had started sexually assaulting Sarah. Mr. Foster told my aunt that Sarah had boarded the sailing vessel, the United States, barely a week after my husband's murder, disguised as a white gentleman, Mr. Matry, and accompanied by a servant girl named Midge, who pretended Sarah's baby was her own. Mr. Matry wore dark glasses and hardly spoke, claiming the illness for which he sought treatment in the North made conversation too taxing. He stayed in his cabin, but Midge was all over the vessel, talking to anyone who would listen. Her subject was her poor master and the nature of his illness, which changed from day to day. The captain thought the girl excitable and ignorant. He told Mr. Leggett he wondered that a gentleman as frail and distinguished as Mr. Matry would tolerate such a giddy piece of baggage with a screaming baby in tow. Distinguished, I said. It seems Sarah makes a presentable gentleman, my aunt responded. Everyone Mr. Leggett interviewed remarked on his aristocratic manner. Mr. Matry disembarked at Savannah and stayed at a boarding house for a few days, waiting for a packet slip that would take him on to Philadelphia. Again, he kept to his room in his servant fatigue, everyone in the place with descriptions of her master's illness. One day it was his eyes. The next day it was his heart. The baby screamed unceasingly. The landlady believed it was colicky. She too wondered how the gentleman put up with his companions. When they left, the whole house breathed a sigh of relief. Mr. Matry boarded the Atlantic Clipper as soon as it docked, but the winds were unfavorable, and the ship sat at anchor for 3 days. The captain took an interest in his passenger, who was, he thought, sick unto death. He had the cook prepare him gruel, which was the only thing the gentleman said he could hold down. Often, he encouraged Mr. Matry to go up on deck to take fresh air, but he was unsuccessful. When they reached Philadelphia, though Mr. Matry had booked his passage through to New York, the captain urged him to spend the night on shore while the ship discharged its cargo. He recommended a rooming house nearby. The captain told Mr. Leggett that he feared his passenger would not last the night. When he came on deck and saw the lights of the town, Mr. Matry was so weak he clung to the rail and wept. She was happy to be free. He survived the night, and in the morning they set sail for New York. The winds were favorable, the trip without event. Mr. Matry began to eat. His servant ran out of auditors, and the baby stopped crying. When they arrived in New York, Mr. Maitre expressed his gratitude to the captain. He told him he had saved his life and went down the gangway with a steady step. He was met by a gentleman and a lady who evidently expected him. They entered a cab and drove away. Yeah, Sarah free. Well, let's read. A good bit of Mr. Leggett's time and energy went to interviewing the cab drivers who picked up fares at the dock that day. Eventually, he was directed to a house in Brooklyn belonging to a Mr. and Mrs. Palmer. When he learned from the neighbors that the Palmers were Quakers, he knew he had found his quarry. What are Quakers, I asked. Some sort of religious society, my aunt explained, much opposed to slaveholding of any kind, I gather. Mr. Maitre had abandoned his disguise at the Palmers and become Miss Claudia Palmer, a cousin of the family visiting from the South. Mr. Leggett began a constant surveillance of the house. A few days later, Mr. Palmer went out in a cab with the servant Midge and her baby. He came back alone. Mr. Leggett didn't see either of them again. The next day, Mr. Palmer was observed on the docks, inquiring into the availability of passage to England. The next, he was at the customs office, filling out forms. For several days, nothing happened. Miss Palmer rarely left the house, except to take brief walks with her cousins. Mr. Leggett despaired of capturing her in their company. Any public scene might result in Sarah's arrest. The free Negroes and others like these Quakers were known to protest police actions over such vehemence that the writs could not be served and the prisoner was released. Mr. Leggett watched for his opportunity and hired 2 strong men to be at the ready when the time came. Again, Mr. Palmer was observed on the docks, and this time he purchased a single berth in the name of Claudia Palmer on the Commodore, bound for London. Mr. Leggett knew his chance had come and that it would be his last. He called his men, hired a closed carriage, and arrived at the crowded wharf early on the morning of the ship's sailing. These 3 were met by an actress, paid and coached in advance. When Sarah arrived, accompanied only by Mr. Palmer, Mr. Leggett was sure of success. He had one of his men begin to abuse the actress just as the couple approached the gangway. He relied upon Mr. Palmer's religious principles to distract him, and he was right. Mr. Palmer turned away from his charge and attempted to interpose himself into the quarrel. Immediately, the couple turned upon him, beating him cruelly. There were cries for help. Our eyes were riveted on the violent scene. Mr. Leggett and his other man came up on either side of Sarah and grasped her by the arms. "It's time to go home, Miss Sarah," Mr. Leggett said. She cried out to Mr. Palmer, who was unable even to hear her through the noise and confusion. Mr. Leggett and his man led her quickly to the carriage, shoved her inside, and drove away. "You know who coming to save her? Mr. Rogan. Her man coming to save her." "You are right," I said, when my aunt had finished. "It is a remarkable story. What I wonder is what it will all cost. I suppose I will have to pay for the actress and the strong men. Your uncle thinks Mr. Leggett acted properly. It is cheaper to pay an actress than bribe a bailiff." "I suppose so," I said. "Mr. Leggett is waiting in Savannah for 3 other runaways who are being transported from a jail in South Carolina. Then he and a trader who has 6 more slaves to bring to market here will drive them all on foot overland, barely cheaper. They got to walk." "That would take weeks," I complained. "Yes, it would be a long, long walk for Mr. Maitre." I sniffed. "What a name." "Your uncle cautions you that Sarah may be very different when she returns," my aunt said. "She has passed as a free woman, and that experience is generally deleterious to a Negro's character." "Yeah, ain't that some shit?" "She has done more than that," I observed. "She has tasted a freedom you and I will never know." My aunt looked perplexed. "What is that?" she said. "She has traveled about the country as a free white man." Yeah, we got like 3 or 4 pages. I might try to go ahead and edit this and get all that long drawn out, and maybe I might not. I don't know. Whatever Mr. Leggett saved by sending Sarah overland was swiftly paid out by Dr. Landry, for she arrived more dead than alive. They had cropped her hair close somewhere along the way, and with her sunken eyes and cheeks, her bony limbs, she looked like a skeleton. She had a racking cough that kept the whole house awake all night. In the trek through the swamp, she had contracted some manner of foot rot, which smelled as bad as it looked. When Dr. Landry's treatments proved ineffectual, my aunt suggested sending for Peak, who arrived straight away with her poultices and infusions. She set an iron pot to boiling in the courtyard, which sent a stench over the whole neighborhood. She put Sarah on a cot in the kitchen with the fire going and kettles boiling day and night until it was like a steam bath, and Delphine nearly fainted from the heat. Dr. Landry disapproved, but he advised that sometimes Negroes could only be cured by other Negroes. I digress. Which proved correct. I then burned him with the information that all her life my mother had followed every palliative he offered with a dose of something Peak had mixed up. Gradually, Sarah began to eat. The coffee abated, even her feet dried out and crusted over. Mr. Leggett's bill was $250, which I thought outrageous. He had itemized it completely, down to the actress's cab fare and the charge for shackles at the jail in Savannah. He and my uncle determined to find a way to convict Mr. Roget for abetting Sarah's escape. Mr. Leggett wanted that reward as well, and my uncle had his own reasons. They had no luck trying to trace the tickets, but it didn't take them long to learn that Mr. Roget had commissioned a slave catcher named Pitt, Pitt, to bring in the talkative Midge, so notorious on the eastern seaboard for her intense interest in the health of Mr. Matry. It seemed Midge had found the North so much to her liking that she refused to return to her master. We would trap him. We would trap him through his own arrogance, my uncle declared. Mr. Leggett departed to collect sworn testimony. As for Sarah's baby, no one seemed to know what had become of it. When I asked Sarah, she coughed a few times and said with her usual forthcomingness, she dead. She probably gone with Mr. Rogan to be kept. I don't know. We're going to see. I hope he went and saved my sister. My uncle was wrong. Sarah was not much changed. She was as sullen as ever. As her health improved and she was able to work again, she performed her tasks without comment or interest. But she was more competent than most, certainly better than Rose, who had a more pleasing manner. No one could dress my hair so well as Sarah, nor care for my clothes, nor arrange the rooms, nor take my bath. Everything. They didn't do nothing for themselves. She continued to evidence on an aversion to Walter. She continued to evidence an aversion to Walter, to her son, probably because she knew she couldn't take him with her. I don't know. One morning, as she was serving my breakfast, Walter came in and commenced pawing her skirt and whining to be picked up and petted, as Rose was always so willing to do. Sarah put down the coffee urn, laid the flat of her hand across his face, and pushed him away roughly. He ran bawling from the room. Does he remind you of someone? I said, earning one of her thinly veiled looks of contempt. She took up the urn and leaned over me to fill my cup. He's as much your responsibility as mine, I said. God knows I didn't ask for him, but here he is. She went to the sideboard and stood with her back to me, slicing a bacon, indifferent as the knife in her hand. It's useless to talk about responsibility to you people, I continued. You have no sense of it. That's the gift we give you all. You just run away and we bring you back and you never have the slightest twinge of conscience. When we just reading in there, no, y'all didn't hear about conscience. All that I was showing, but we did. No one ever holds you responsible for your actions. It's just assumed you have no moral sense. She spooned a dab of Creole cheese next to the bread and brought it to me. I placed my right hand on the plate to hold the bread, then took up the knife to spread the cheese. It's thanks to you I'm a cripple, I said. Look at the way I have to eat. She stood to the side, watching my hands with an interested expression. If you hadn't beat me to the horse, I said. It was the first time I'd spoken to her of that night, though I dreamed of it often enough. I was running, and the horse was there. If I only could get to it. But someone was holding me back. Sometimes it was my husband, sometimes Sarah, sometimes a man I didn't know. Once I turned to find mother clawing at me, her teeth bared like a wild animal. I woke from these dreams soaked in perspiration, my heart racing so fast it hurt. Sarah stood watching me, her hands folded at her waist. She was listening to me, I thought, which gave me an odd sensation. You knew my husband was dead, I said. There was no reason for you to run. They weren't going to kill you. The black people, it was the insurrection. That's how Sarah got away. I took a bite of bread and glared at her as I chewed it. She met my gaze, but curiously, as if she wondered what I would say next. But you had already hatched your plan with Mr. Rogan, hadn't you? I said. I heard you whispering here that night. You had it all arranged. Your clever disguise and your ship passage and your friends in the north. I'm sure they all made you feel very important, very much the poor helpless victim. And no one asked you how you got away or whom you left behind. Her eyes wandered away from me to the plate on the table, the cup next to my hand, a strange inward looking smile, as at a recollection compressed her looks. When you get to the north, she said, they invite you to the dining room and they ask you to sit at the table. Then they offers you a cup of tea and they ask, does you want cream and sugar? I was dumbfounded. It was more than I had ever heard her say. My uncle was right, I thought. She had changed. She'd gone mad. We almost done. I took a swallow of my coffee. And this appealed to you, I asked. Yes, she said, raising her eyes very coolly to mine. It appealed to me. I considered this image of Sarah. She was dressed in borrowed clothes, sitting stiffly at a bare wooden table while a colorless Yankee woman, her thin hair pulled into a tight bun, served her tea in a china cup. The righteous husband fetched a cushion. The righteous husband fetched a cushion to make their guests more comfortable. It struck me as perfectly ridiculous. What on earth did they think they were doing? And that's it. Is she calling Sarah her righteous husband? No, the righteous husband fetched a cushion to make their guests more comfortable. I don't know. The ass is crazy as hell, but we done. We are done with this book. I did say we would read the acknowledgments because it's got some other books and stuff. Maybe some we already have. I don't know. Move, Davis. Move. Get down. Acknowledgments. Those familiar with the Library of America's compilation slave narratives will recognize in my character Sarah's journey north as an indebtedness to the intrepid William and Ellen Craft. Oh, my ancestors! Brother Johnson, Julian Johnson. I do believe he got a story on William and Ellen Craft. I'm going to look it up and see, y'all. I do believe so because I remember that name. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. I'll let you know. Disguised as a sick white man and his slave, Ellen taking the master's role. The Crafts brought 2 train tickets and escaped from bondage in Georgia, running 1,000 miles for freedom. The Crafts account was widely known in the 19th century, and Professor Henry Louis Gates has speculated that Hannah Crafts, the escaped slave who penned a recently discovered novel, may have chosen her pseudonym as a homage to Ellen Craft. We learned that. He might now, that wasn't him. Where we learned that from? We learned that from one of the grandchildren books. Because remember, everybody was escaping slavery the best way they could. Robert Small and them had to wait once a year to escape slavery. When all the white captains and stuff got drunk and they took over the ship. But everybody was trying to figure out how they were going to escape. Him and his wife, they they didn't know how they were going to do it. They could wait for Harriet. They could wait for another opening, but they decided, here it is. Thank you, ancestors. They decided, see, 1,000 Miles to Freedom. Running 1,000 Miles to Freedom is the title of an autobiography written by William and Ellen Craft. what happened was they decided that they were going to invent their own escape to freedom. So she became an injured, because she was really fair to pass for white. She became an injured white woman, and he was her slave. She couldn't talk much, so they didn't speak to her and stuff, And he didn't say much either, just I'm here with my missus. Taking my missus to get help. Her arm was in a sling. So let me read it real fast. Running 1,000 Miles to Freedom is the title of an autobiography written by William and Ellen Craft. It tells of their daring escape from a Macon, Georgia plantation to freedom in the North. One day, William Craft decided that he and his wife Ellen were tired of their disgusting lives as slaves. They began a carefully planned scheme to escape to freedom. William, a cabinet maker, saved his small earnings until he had enough money to buy his wife Ellen a man's suit. She was the man. Let's read it. I don't know. I remember them though. Oh, I believe this right here was exactly right. I was wrong, but yeah, let's get the right way. Their plans would go like this. Ellen, his wife, was a very light-skinned woman. She would dress up as a white man, and her darker husband, William, would pretend to be her slave. Okay, so she was a white man, not a white woman. She would be going north for medical treatment. She would pretend to be hard of hearing so that no one would ask too many questions. She would wear bandages on her arms so that she would not be asked to sign hotel registers. Ellen could not read or write. In January 1849, the Crafts put their plan into action. They boarded a train and headed north to Philadelphia. They traveled first class all the way and stayed at the best hotels without any questions. Both William and Ellen played their parts well. William, the slave, looked after his master's every need. That was his wife. As the train roared through the countryside, William's and Ellen's hearts would pound every time someone would look their way. The punishment for runaway slaves was harsh. If at any time they were recognized, they could be captured and returned to their master. Many runaways were sold down the river into Mississippi or Louisiana, where slave masters dealt more harshly with their slaves. It was often a threat to sell you down south. It was a long trip from Macon, Georgia to Philadelphia, and the added pressure of being found out made the trip seem even longer. Finally, they reached Philadelphia, where a conductor on the Underground Railroad took them to his home. Later, they were taken on to Boston, Massachusetts. When the Anti-Slavery Society learned that the Crafts were being sought after as fugitive slaves, they moved them even further. They moved them to London, England. It had been a long, scary trip, but William and Ellen had made it, y'all. In London, William worked for a London business. After the Civil War, the Crafts returned to their home state of Georgia. They bought a plantation of their own and started a school for Black children near Savannah, Georgia. William and Ellen Craft. And that's what they looked like. Yeah, that's what they looked like when they was escaping from slavery. So let me just finish reading the acknowledgments and stuff. Other books that inform my vision of the master-slave relationship in the antebellum South are Herbert Aptheker's, Apthekers, Herbert Aptheker's American Negro Slave Revolts, Lillian Creek's Daily Life in Louisiana, 1815 to 1830, John Hope Franklin and Lawrence Swinner's Runaway Slaves. We got a channel, Runaway Slave. Y'all go check out Runaway Slave. Yes. And that's Lawrence Swinner's, Schwenigers. Mary Gedman's, Gehmans, Gedman's, The Free People of Color of New Orleans. Walter Johnson's Soul by Soul, Life Inside the Antebellum Slave Market. Harriet Martin News, Society in America. Alton V. Moody's, Slavery on Louisiana Sugar Plantations. You know, we learned about Norbert Rillig's on the slave plantations. He created because slave women had to move, they had to change or boil the sugar cane down to sugar juice. Boil it real hot and make it juice. It was so hot, it was like acid. If that hot sugar, the juice fell on you, it would just burn right through your skin, down to the bone. That's how hot it was. Well, he invented, it's in this book too. Yeah, I'll find it. He invented a device, and they were like vats, and it made it where all they had to do was carry it from one. They didn't even have to carry it, I think. Just pour it in there, just, I don't know, get it going. And it made it much easier, much quicker for them, safer. His name was Norbert Rillies. I thought it was Robert, but upon reading it some more, it was Norbert. I don't know if I can find it right away and stuff. I try to put some of them, mark some of the pages down. But yeah, I'll remember it again when we do have a free moment. I'll look forward to just mark the page down and stuff. Because I don't want to keep y'all no more tonight, and myself especially, because I was on here reading. I think that's my second time doing that. I'm going to have to just go ahead and get 2 monitors. Yep. I can do it, y'all. Then there's also, y'all, Joe Gray Taylor's Negro Slavery in Louisiana, and Christina Vella's Intimate Enemies. Intimate Enemies. The journals of 2 Louisiana plantation owners, Rachel O'Connor and Bennett H. Barrow, were eminently useful. Thanks to Dr. Philip Castile for his comments and conversation, for their continuing encouragement and support. I am indebted to Nikki Smith, Nan Talese, that's N-A-N, Talese, T-A-L-E-S-E, John Cullen, C-U-L-L-E-N, and Adrienne Martin. To Margaret Atwood, whose help far exceeded the expectations of an already invaluable friendship. This novel is affectionately dedicated. We did it! We finished another book. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience, your presence. I really do appreciate it. I know, yeah, I've been like, yeah, face, we left. And that's fine with me because I had no idea. I do appreciate the push. Once y'all give me that push, 2 people, push me off that curb, honey, I can go. I can ride this bike. I know how to pedal. And, I just appreciate y'all so much. I really thank y'all. And I'm going to keep working at this, and I will perfect this. And it won't be all of this back and forth and silent readings, and I'm over here looking like I'm, cursing somebody, to hell and stuff like that. But, yeah, thank you so much for being here. And tomorrow, we will read some more Dirty Little Secrets. Yep. We got to finish this book now, and it ain't much. Oh, how close are we up on it? Yeah, we just a couple of pages from that also. Yep. And I'm going to try to finish it tomorrow. Yep, I will. We will finish this tomorrow. Yep. The Japanese Interment. We read there right there. We're in chapter 11. Black Jeans Have It. Dog. A Fighting Little Man. That's what we'll start about Jack Johnson. And then we got maybe 7 pages. We'll be done with that right there. Yep, we'll be done with that right there. And maybe tomorrow I'll know what we're going to read next. If we're going to take a few days, a few weeks and get our garden. I feel like I could buy me some plywood. And I can get me a hammer and some nails, and I can make me a little stand and have it sitting in the corner of my patio right there along the side and have everything growing as it should. It'll be deep enough. I'll be able to reuse it. It'll withstand the weather. The wind ain't going to blow it over. I can even get a top and put on it when the weather get a little cool and stuff before I have to bring it in. So I don't know. I just know I want to be prepared too. I don't care if I ain't got nothing but 3 ingredients, a carrot, a bell pepper, and an onion in my stir fry. I want to be able to feed myself. I want you to be able to feed yourself. That's all I'm here for, to help us be concerned about our life and our afterlife. We ain't got no business in heaven. We ain't got no benefit in heaven with white people. Maya Angelou said, when the people show you who they are, believe them. They done showed us. They done showed us enough. We ought to be looking with our ears and our eyes. We ought to be hearing with our eyes. Everything is right there in front of us. But I digress. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock. I said I wasn't gonna keep us all night and stuff no more with these 3 hour, readings and stuff. I gotta be able to compact this song. So let's just get us some gratitude. Let's just get us some gratitude going. And the process is tonight. Rejuvenate yourself. Every night after we read these stories, our books are not going to be as easy going as this reading right here was. Yeah, they censored a lot of this, I'm sure. They censored a lot of it. I'm sure they did. But a lot of this right here that we learning is not really easy. And we don't need to be withholding it on us and stuff. Process it, rejuvenate yourself so we can heal. You won't be discombobulated by all this bullshit. You'll be able to help others heal once they come upon this too. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you, Call Dog. Yeah, but I was talking and cussing. Over here and stuff. White folks probably curse their ass a little bit. But I digress. Gratitude, y'all. Gratitude. Just keep you some gratitude. You ain't even got to pay for it. Ain't nobody even got to know you giving gratitude. But don't hold it to yourself. Just let them know. Girl, give some gratitude. You've been all frustrated and irritated all this time and stuff. You need to be grateful. Give gratitude for something. If they got a little puppy, tell them be grateful for that puppy and stuff. It's always happy to see you come home. And I ain't never mad because you done cussed it out and stuff and done locked it in the kennel. Be grateful for that puppy and stuff. Give them something that they got. It'll be easy for them to reach out and get it. Each one teach one, reach one. I'm just saying, yeah, that's it. Each one teach one, reach one. And yeah, so that they can get it too. We all want to heal. Everybody want to eat. Everybody can't go, but let's give everybody the opportunity, the knowledge. Let's give everybody the opportunity that, yeah, you can wake up. We only need like 12% of us, though. I'm just saying. But I digress. Gratitude shields you from negativity, y'all. Anything. Anybody sinning at you, honey, gratitude got that up. Yeah, gratitude got that shield over you. Can't nothing penetrate it. You got to keep your gratitude up, though. Just like on a bike, when you stop your gratitude, you're going to fall over. When you stop your gratitude, that shield between your negativity, it releases. You got to keep your gratitude coming. Because somebody always, somewhere, always throwing negativity at you. Especially when you all for your ancestors and your people. Oh, yeah. People mad. People upset. People pissed. People scared. Terrified. They finna lose stuff. Malcolm said you scared to bleed. Black people scared to bleed, scared to lose, scared to fall, scared to stumble. Yeah, it ain't just scared to bleed blood. They scared to lose them friendships, that job, that 5-bedroom house with a 3-car garage they ass don't need. If you just scared, you need some gratitude. That faith, you always say, Black America always say, the Lord didn't give us the spirit of fear. You know what I'm talking about, y'all be saying and stuff. Well, this right here, gonna see how much faith you really got. Yeah, all of this right here, the reawakening is finna test your faith. Yeah, for the ancestors. Yep, you're going to have to decide for your ancestors. I know you feel safety and comfort. Well, I'm just going to stay with Jesus, with God and stuff. You got to decide about that. You still going to heaven? You're going to ignore all of that because you can't face what happened to your ancestors. You can't face what happened to your ancestors. So you rather go to heaven? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. You shouldn't have no fear because you are God and Goddess. You shouldn't have no fear because you belong in the ethers, the afterlife. You live forever. You can come back. You shouldn't have no fear because of that, not because the white man put it in his book, told you, yeah, God didn't give you no spirit of fear and have faith of a mustard seed and all this and that. The illusion is broken now, Black America. You ain't got to stay with them same old fables no more and stuff. Give yourself permission to look at something different, to think about something different. I'm just saying. You still going to keep it and do it anyway. Just because I'm telling you different and stuff ain't gonna change the way you thinking and embracing your religion and stuff. Just give yourself a chance, opportunity to let's at least think about it. You got to go there yourself. I can't go over on the other side with you. Hell, I ain't going over there. I'm going the other way. I'm going to the 12th or never. After this experience right here with white folks, I never want to see them again unless I come back to Earth. I'm going where they can't go. The cosmos didn't manifest nobody on this planet but black people as far as humans, people. 2 legs, 2 arms, and all that good stuff. The cosmos didn't manifest nobody on this planet but us. I'm not even too sure other groups of people can go to the afterlife. No, they can't go to the afterlife. That's why I'm telling y'all, white folks will be perfectly fine in heaven. We ain't got to go. You don't have to feel guilty about being with white folks in heaven. What are they going to do? Well, who's going to help them? Who's going to be able to entertain them? And all that bullshit, whatever you thinking, you ain't got to. Everybody else going to be there for white America. Trust me. Yeah, just give yourself permission to start thinking critically. It ain't nothing wrong with it. Your higher power wants you to seek the truth. Ask it or her. Gratitude, y'all, makes you at least 25% happy. Honey, you ain't got to have no more bad days. You ain't got to have no more bad days. Bad days for what? The lights off, hell, run the extension cord to your neighbor. Hell, you ain't got to wait till but Friday till you get your paycheck. You can go outside now with a sign with your light bill on it. Somebody will come along, might take a couple of people, give you a few dollars. You got your babies with you and stuff, and they at your mama house or something, just let them know. Yeah, the baby's at mama house. I'm trying to get this light bill paid. Maybe somebody might be like, come over here by this station over here, this restaurant. I'm going to call them and pay your bill. It ain't but $115. Go from corner to corner. Everybody else out there with a sign. I seen a man with a sign say, I need a drink. He needed a drink. I might have gave him $1. He was straight up about it. I'm just saying, ain't no more bad days like that. These were the worst days, the ravished days, the savage days, just ravishness. So all this little man-made bad days and stuff, honey, that shit is for the birds. Sure wills, but I digress. Gratitude rewires your brain. Honey, when you grateful, don't nobody know why you done walked up in the room and stuff, and it's just like, wow, who turned the light on over there? Who raised the blinds up? Well, you close them curtains and stuff because you done walked in the room. That radiation you got is coming from the rewiring in your brain, the shielding from that negativity. It's coming from that acceleration, that elevation in your happiness. Gratitude is giving you all of that. And you ain't even paid for it. You ain't have to pay nothing for it. But I do caution, don't keep it to yourself. Let your peers, the other black people, let your family, your children, your community, your people know. We need to know these things. We need to know them. Gratitude eliminates stress. Honey, as soon as you get stressed about something, honey, you ought to start calling up your paycheck. I'm just saying, your Social Security check, your paycheck, your food stamps, your income tax, whatever. Yeah, start giving it gratitude. Be grateful for your ancestors, grateful for the sun, grateful for the trees, be grateful for nature, whatever it is. Get that stress on up out of there. It take practice, because I still be practicing some of this. Still practicing how to breathe correctly and stuff. Just been living like white folks. Me, living like white folks. It's an unconscious thing, y'all. We didn't know. Now you do. Gratitude heals. Gratitude improves your sleep, honey. You can sleep like a baby. You know them lights going to be cut off tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. You better not trust them motherfuckers, because they might cut them off at 4:30. You know the office closed at 4 o'clock. The electric office closed at 4 o'clock. They might cut them off at 4. But honey, with gratitude, you can sleep like a baby, because you know you can get up in the morning. You got 3 or 4 options. Them babies gonna be at your mama house while you at home eating pizza by Starlight. Yep. Be over there with them babies during the daytime or be out there at them corners with that sign, with that light bill on the front of it, hitting up churches. See if can you help me with a little bit with this light bill right here? I don't know. Get you a lawnmower at the thrift store or something, wherever you see it at. Mow some yards and stuff. You got the 4 o'clock, but it ain't no bad day. You just had better days. That's all it is. Ain't no bad day. You just had better days. Gratitude, y'all. It boosts your self-esteem and your performance. Don't nobody know why you hitting production. Damn, sure you still hitting production. I got close. Yeah, I got close up on you, but no. You ain't get close up on me. I'm on the street. You hitting production. Don't nobody even know why. Gratitude. It keep giving you the same and similar. And it don't cost nothing. Don't nobody know why. You don't won the lottery over there. What's up with you? You going on vacation. They gave your ass a raise. Girl, tell me, Face, did they give you a raise? Girl, if them motherfuckers gave you a raise and they ain't gave me now. Yeah, they don't know. Yeah, it's just gratitude, y'all. It's so simple. Right there in our faces. We ain't seen nothing. White folks just embracing it and loving it, honey. Got tattoos all up and down, just grateful for butterflies and everything. Can't change from nothing. Can't metamorph to nothing that's pro-life. Metamorph to that beast. That's all they can metamorph to, honey. And that ain't no rainbow. With nothing beastly about the butterfly. The butterfly morphs from the caterpillar to the butterfly. That's what they metamorph. Yeah, but it ain't nothing beautiful about it. Well, nothing beautiful about that metamorphosis. Sure one, don't try to tell me. Don't try to tell me. This is spiritual right here. If you're not spiritual, it's going to irritate anyway. It's going to irritate you anyway because I'm not looking through no religious lens. No, honey, that's gone. Gratitude improves your relationship. Honey, when you grateful, it improves all your relationship with your babies, your loved ones, your parents, even your co-workers, your neighbors, teachers, everybody. It improves your relationship because you grateful. You getting abundance, prosperity, health. You getting all of that goodness, all of that greatness. It's coming to you. So yeah, it improves your relationship and stuff because you ain't with all of that negative bullshit, that petty, superficial, materialistic, goddamn it, celebrity bullshit, entertainment. You ain't with all of that and stuff. And people feel that, people see that in you and stuff. So it improves your relationships. It kind of like elevates you above all that bullshit, like blow it away. Yep, anybody holding on to it, they gone. Yep, you can't keep it around you no more. I'm just saying, in my opinion. When I read these right here, and it's free, how your body reacts to singing. I love music. I don't know what's first, my love of music or my love of reading, because I've always loved reading. Yeah, I've always loved reading. I ain't never read this because they didn't teach me this in school. But if they had I would have went further than 11th grade. Yeah, if they had I would have went further than the 12th grade. But they didn't. So, I'm reading myself now. I'm teaching myself now. We all teaching us now. But how your body reacts to singing. I love music. Our music. It's our music that moves me, give me goosebumps, resonate with me. Other music good too. I'm from the South. I know some white radio music. That's all we had sometimes was the radio. But but it don't give me goosebumps and resonate with me like my mama's music, my daddy's music, So yeah, it's the songs and stuff, y'all. Use discernment when you choosing your songs. How your body reacts to healing. Singing reacts to singing. Singing heals your body. Yep, I didn't know either. Singing joyful, expressive songs, y'all, can nourish your heart. It can balance your emotions and uplift your spirits. Just singing. Your heart, it'll feel so much happier. It's like your heart will literally be smiling. I'm just saying, it's like your heart. It will literally be smiling, just giving you a real good pump, 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 strong pumps, pumping that blood through that you need, that your body needs. That's what singing does for your heart. Singing helps expand the lungs and improves oxygen intake. When you singing, honey, and you know you got to take that deep breath if you want to sing and carry that note with Stephanie Mills, you know you better, you better carry that deep breath. You got to carry it. You got to hold it in, honey, and carry it away. Your lungs love that. They love it. They be wondering, wow, what's happening? What's going on? They be looking around, moving around in your body, expanding and getting pink, honey. Yeah, and then you blow that long breath out when you singing and stuff. Your lungs love it. They ain't had no breath of fresh air, a big fill up like that since you last sang a song by Stephanie Mills or whoever. You know, just find somebody that resonates with you. Don't get you nobody that's going to lead your ass out here twerking. Because, you know, that's not even the groove. That's not the groove. But I digress. Singing helps regulate your emotions. It helps regulate emotions like frustration, anger, and stress. You know how they say all that medicine y'all taking is accumulating in your body. Frustration, anger, and stress is too. Fear, doubt, anxiety, all of that shit is accumulating in your liver. You better sing a song. You better sing till you can't think of no more songs. You better sing everybody's song. Your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your grandmama, everybody, your neighbors, everybody sang some songs and stuff. Go from song to song. You run out of everybody's favorite music. Patti LaBelle. You go out of everybody's music, get rid of it and stuff. You don't know it no more. You can't think of nothing else. Go to Good Times. Go to your theme songs. A Different World, The Cosby Show, Good Times. I'm just saying, Living Single. Go to your theme songs. We got them. You ain't got to go to WAP. You don't have to go to WAP. That's the wrong frequency. You supposed to be looking for music. Use your discernment. Find music. Sing songs that's elevating. They pro-life. They giving you inspiration. They motivating you. They putting you in touch with your ancestors, with your people, with the good times. Soul Train, you know, jump roping, double dutch. Frankie, what's his name? Frankie Smith, double dutch bus. You know, them type of songs and stuff. Elder Barge. I'm just saying, you know. Go back to some Atlantic Star stuff. You ain't got to go to WAP now. That's the wrong frequency right there. They did that shit on purpose, Black America. I know they did. Bone Thugs and Harmony and them did a video years ago and told about it. I think that was Bone Thug now. Told about where they had all the rappers and stuff in this big old meeting. And they were telling them, yeah, we're going to need y'all to start cussing out black women and calling them bitches and hoes and start glamorizing violence and stuff. And only a few of our brothers got their ass up and left. The rest of them stayed in there and stuff. Leave their ass behind. Go viral and burn all of that petty bullshit in the music and stuff. Yeah, burn or take it to the show us that you're gonna take it to the consignment shop and sell it. I don't know. I think you should just burn it and stuff. It's a loss. Don't pass it on. It's a loss. I'm just saying, you know. But yeah, I digress. Singing can strengthen your kidney energy by fostering vocal expressions. You know Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin. Oh, honey, when you hitting that high note with Natalie Cole, your kidneys is doing the same. It's all about healing. We heal ourselves. We can heal ourselves by eating, not eating. Listen to the black man. He got that book, Eat to Live, too. By eating, we can heal ourselves. By not eating, we heal ourselves by our diet. Gratitude heals us. Singing heals us. Sunlight heals us. Water heals us. It ain't all of this other bullshit that Europeans need, non-melanin people need, that we don't need. We living like them. We ain't supposed to be living like them, y'all. If we had took our asses and got away from them, see, we wouldn't be in this predicament. But I forgive us. We can forgive us. Let's forgive us. Ain't no need in being harmful to us no more. That's what they wanted. I don't know if we hurt ourselves, we riding down on us like this, so white America would never do it again. But we got to stop it too. Ain't nobody finna continue riding down on us. Not Black America. Not Black Africa either. No, honey. The whole cosmos is on this. The whole ethers is on this. It's a spiritual war going on up there right now. Good versus evil. So I don't know. Some white folk done escaped from heaven and done made it out to the multiverse. That with that bullshit. I don't know how long they've been in the multiverse, but that's the spiritual battle. They had it once before with the Anunnaki and them, and what was his name? Mark, you know what I'm talking about and stuff. That spiritual war that was up there. Now the spiritual war that's up there going on now is some white person done left heaven, done found out how to get out of heaven. Let's see what's out here a little further. So you know they're always exploring, and us, cosmic energy that we are and we go back to, is kicking their asses. Get the fuck up out of here. Take your ass back to heaven where you belong. We're going to have to, when we get up there, turn up the sun. Turn up the sun. That's what we're going to have to do. We got to do that here. Turn up the sun. Detox yourself. Meditate. Drink water. I'm trying to. I'm learning to every day. Because we got to do this. We want to be on a homeostasis. The same heartbeat with planet Earth. Planet Earth got a heartbeat. We supposed to be on that. We ain't going to get on that ingesting everything that white America is telling us, showing us, giving us, feeding us. We ain't. No, we got to do this work ourselves. You know, and with that, I'm going to let us go. Because I'm not finna hold us hostage like white folks have done. I just want us to know better so we can do better. You know, just give us some new information so that we can deal with things. That's all. We can make the right decisions and stuff about our life and our afterlife. I don't believe that my ancestors are in heaven with white folks because ain't no justice for them there. Ain't no justice for none of them there. Just because they don't remember what happened on earth, your God remembers what happened on earth. Just because Carolyn Bryan don't remember and Emmett Till don't remember, that higher power that you call on, all y'all names and stuff, remembers and knows. So where's their justice? Where's their justice? It ain't there. You must take that detour, Black America. Go to the afterlife where you can be free. I'll tell you about that another day and stuff, but honey, yeah, I'm going to be free, honey. I'm finna ride stars. When you see little holes and stuff, be like, what is that? Is it the dome is breaking or the atmosphere is breaking up and stuff? That's gonna be me up there riding stars all over the multiverse. Yep. I'll probably cut a hole right around heaven so it'll fall right into hell. I'm just saying, but I'll let y'all go and stuff. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace and power to the people. I love you to life and to afterlife.